Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is Societal Narcissism. This video is sponsored by a contribution from Colin. Colin gave a general contribution, which I will use for this video. Sorry, I did not get back until right now. I wanted to post more last night, but I ran into a glitch on my system where I couldn't search videos. I couldn't log on. Like, I got logged out. I couldn't log back on. Videos weren't playing on YouTube. I couldn't search anything on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. I do not deal with technology issues very well. And it was only on my main PC. And I didn't want to swap out to the older PC. Even like once I get something in my head. And finally I went to Grok, like laid out all the issues, finally figured out it was browser specific, that I had to clear out everything, and gave me these steps. So now everything is working. And I'm stewing because I want to do more Estranged Parents videos because, first, they're fun. Secondly, they're getting some traction. And third, they do a lot of benefit. So, but last night, as I'm trying to figure this out in between, losing my mind, I kind of had an epiphany about these estranged parents, about what they don't understand, or maybe they do, but what they really want from us. When, you hear them, pissing and moaning about, the comments in there, and, how we're doing this to be mean, and so on and so forth. The reason you went no contact is because these people project everything on you. And one of the themes you keep hearing them say repeatedly is how mean we are, how targeting we are to them, how cruel this is, how we are punishing them. And the thing, though, the thing that you always have to remember about the narcissist is where they get their supply from, where they get their greatest supply. It isn't necessarily from us. They get a lot of supply from, tormenting us and abusing us. But they get their greatest supply from strangers, from the praise and adulation of strangers. That's what they care about. That's what motivates them. Getting praise and getting honored and looking good and being put on a pedestal by strangers, by people that don't matter. So, there's always some confusion. There's always some confusion. Well, what are they talking about? We went no contact. That means we are not contacting them. They're repeatedly saying how they're adult children who've gone no contact for no reason. It's this one's fault. It's that one's fault. It's this one's fault. It's that one's fault. But their main problem is we won't talk to them. We won't interact with them. And that's true. When we are not on our parents' pages. We're not calling them up. We're not answering the phone. We have them blocked. So what are they talking about? Well, they're complaining because of the comments. They're complaining over the comments in the comment section of people who are calling them out, of people who are seeing through them. They know the tactics. They know the lies. They know the gaslighting. They know the projection. And they are getting called out ad nauseum over and over and over and over again. But it's not us calling them out. You see? They're getting called out by their most targeted audience, by their most beloved audience, strangers. You see, we learn, we go no contact. We don't talk to them. We don't communicate with them. We're done calling them out. We're done interacting with them. We're done taking their calls. We're done. But we'll go and call out anyone else we're not related to when we see the behaviors. We'll jump in those comment sections. So yeah, we won't interact with our own narcissist, but we sure as hell have no problem going on these estranged parents pages who aren't our own and calling them out. And that's what is burning them. Because in their mind, you see, and I think they realize this, in their mind, and in reality, it's not even in their mind, in reality, we're the only ones who can make it stop. If we said we reconciled, leave her alone, we're going to try to work it out, it would stop immediately. But we don't do that. And why they're seething so much is that has completely flipped the power dynamic, because they're all about power and control. And this is a complete loss of power and a complete loss of control over a topic that leaves them the most vulnerable. The thing that they lie about the most, the thing that defines them the most, has now become their biggest liability, and they're putting it out there. So they're getting these attacks from these strangers who are supposed to be praising them and, oh, poor baby, how dare they? They're such garbage. But instead of getting that, they're getting like, you're a narcissist, you're a borderline, you're an abuser, I could see through it. Why did your kids go no contact? What did you do? So they're getting the same comments that they got from us when we were in contact with them. So they feel by proxy like it's whether it's you or not, we are all repeating the same words to them because we see it all. We're all hitting them with the same facts. They just want to pin it all on you. Why? You're the only one who can make it stop. You're the only one that can save them. And we're not coming. We won't even interact with them. However, we'll go and interact with any other narcissist we spot out there, any other parental abuser that's out there crying the blues and projecting their own thought patterns onto their adult children who have gone no contact. You don't even need to attack your parent. You don't even need to do it, especially if they're, and I'm talking about these ones who are online, these ones who are online crying about it. They are all getting hammered in the comment section. Not from their kids, from everyone else. And we're the only ones who could ever make that stop, because it's not going to stop, because there's just too many of us out there. This is why they are so desperate. This is why, just being able to bash us to strangers face to face, that's not doing it for them. Eventually you run out of people. And they constantly need new supply. They need new people to constantly feel bad for them and to bash us to. And it works for us because there's so many abuse victims out there. And most of them don't have the balls to jump in publicly. See, they want to do like I said, with a narcissist, they do everything. They operate in secrecy, in privacy, where nobody who can actually do damage to them will see it. That's not how the internet works. So they see this ocean of potential strangers that should be giving them pity and sympathy. But what it turned out is the ocean is shark infested as far as they're concerned. Just a bunch of no contact sharks just circling just waiting for one of you to dip your toes in the water, and then we latch on, and then it's a feeding frenzy, and they can't handle that because they operate in secrecy. So there is this ocean of potential pity and sympathy and the ability to bash us, tell them how horrible their kids were. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work in this world. We won't interact with them. We will go after anyone else we see. And it makes them, they don't know what to do. So that's really where, that's where this desperation a lot of them have to try to get in contact with us, to try to draw us in, to make it stop. So they can go back to being the abuser they are. The power is more, and it wasn't necessarily meant to do that. You know, I don't think anybody started posting these so everybody would go hunt down their parents if they got online and attack them. See, they can't come into our ocean. They can't come directly into the school of sharks, which is our channels. They won't approach that, but they'll try to go into the ocean. But we have extrasensory ability now. We smell the blood in the water, and once we smell that blood in the water, here we come in your comment section, and it's a feeding frenzy at that point. Gives us a lot of power. That's why we're all over their pages, and you barely see them in ours, because they know they can't stand up. They can't stand up to the feeding frenzy. Everything they do, okay, hinders on them being able to do, all their abuse hinders on them being able to do it behind closed doors and in private. Their sympathy and their pity supply, they need to do that publicly. And their target audience is always strangers, always people that don't matter. And they don't get it. Well, they're kind of getting it now. But they'll never be able to admit that you have that type of power. All they can do is walk the pity line and look for pity and supply that way. See, I think we're handling this exactly right. There is no reason to go after your own abuser. There's no reason to interact with them. There are plenty of sharks circling, just waiting for them to put that toe in the water so we could chew it off quickly. We're the only people that can make this stop, and they know it. And we're not going to do it. So, kind of a little epiphany I came to last night. I'm like, based on them caring so much more about the opinions of others, this is so hurtful for them. It is. And that wasn't the intention. But being raised by this, dealing with this for decades, we do have a lot of resentment over it. And we know we can't deal with our own abuser, but we sure as hell can take care of everyone else's. Make sense? Hope so. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you, Colin, for the contribution. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone watching. Please leave any opinions in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, something you want to expose, you want to set up a Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, you like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, then you know what to do with either the Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, and now Super Chat option, thanks, in the description box below, as well as the email address. Also, please like, share, and hype this video wherever you can Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. Also, be sure to subscribe to both my channels on Rumble. If you haven't watched this video over there, please do. Even a click helps. Follow me on TikTok, X, and Telegram as well. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Societal Narcissism. Take care, everyone.